It's that time of the week where we check out Easy Chords covering the new preview images. One Punch Man Season 3, Episode 10. Zombie Man's gonna be taking a focus. I hope that he pops off. Hopefully, this is not gonna reset back to the quality of what it was, you know, leading up to Episode 8. Right? I hope that we don't go RGB bullshit again.
So we just got 6 new preview images for episode 10 of One Punch Man Season 3, and also not to forget the official synopsis of the episode itself.
Okay.
And while looking at these 6 new preview images, I would say I don't think the quality will continue on from what we got for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think I don't think there's any chance that like this is gonna exceed episode 8 or 9 quality. Which for a lot of people is gonna be just laughable because they think 8 and 9 are just like a 5 out of 10. It's garbage to them because they hate this show no matter what. And I get it. And there's reasons to be upset. But I think it's gonna be a chopped ass episode. I just hope that the Zombie Man stuff will, you know, have some polish.
Yes, obviously, episode 8 and episode 9 in comparison with the other 7 is pretty much day and night. Well, it is not a sudden jump to Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 episode 17 type of animation level, but the difference is clearly there. They have been pretty much prioritized episode 8 and episode 9 while unfortunately sacrificing all the other 7.
Yep.
Again, I'm pretty sure everyone can now see what they're capable of even under such a hellish production condition. But if
what are they capable of? An episode that barely makes it a 6 out of 10 on IMDb? Man, I think One Punch Man Season 3 has really just changed the perception of how people view anime in like rating scores. I've never seen any other incident where people have become so radicalized, people have been so blinded by their hate towards this show and the production committee for ruining it, that they think that like something that's actually good is just garbage no matter what.
I need to speculate, I don't think episode 10 will have anything that is near the quality of episode 8 and episode 9. Again, not looking at this preview images itself, but at the same time, my speculation does not determine how the episode will look, so it's just again a speculation. I mean,
looking at the quick, you know, images, they look very simple, right? Even like just like the Atomic Samurai disciple scene in the corridor, it looks pretty chopped, right? It looks kind of wonky. And I think that what should be the plan right now for them? I think the plan should be for them to finish off strong with the finale. I think that it's reasonable to hope that there will be an actually good episode for the finale. But the next 2 weeks to get to the finale, I think will be chopped.
Determine how the episode will look, so it's just again a speculation. I mean, like, we got 2 straight back-to-back pretty good episode 8 and episode 9, both episodes being, well, I would argue above 5 out of 10 or even 7 out of 10 rating, which unfortunately
how do you go from 5 to 7? I think that episode 8 was a good, again, these numbers feed fucking nothing. I think episode 8 was good. I think it was like low grade, maybe like high good is where I would put episode 8. Episode 9 I think is like low good. Yeah, that's where I would put it. To my numeric rating, it's gonna be like a 7 point something at the end of the day.
doesn't really happen in the actual IMDb website. A lot of people are still review bombing the episode, which again, immature.
Okay, it is crazy that people are just bombing the shit out of 10s to okay, both the people that are just spamming 10s and 1s, y'all are both retarded on the each other end of the spectrum. This is kind of where it's at, right? Most people are like, yep, it's in that 7 range. This is a genuine score right over here.
Again, I still don't understand why do people really care about the rating, but whatever. Personally, I would rate both episodes 7 out of 10.
People care about the ratings because it's a numeric that a lot of people hold on dear to. They care about the perception of their show and how highly rated it is, whether it be IMDb, MyAnimeList, or whatever. Brigading then happens obviously to wage in on tribalism, a bunch of stupid kids that just are unemployed, have nothing better to do other than waste their fucking life and go on to basically brigade this shit because it makes them feel good to see other people outraged that something they enjoy has been bombed. That's it. It's just shitty people being shitty.
Or even 8 out of 10 if I'm being generous. But at the same time, both episode 8 and episode 9 itself, the quality of both of the episodes isn't impossible to reach again for this episode, but again, it's just a hunch because we got 2 episodes back to back that made me feel like, wait, this episode might actually going to be outsourced or some kind. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's take a look at the actual
To be fair, they didn't even understand episode, like, listen, they were hyping episode 5 and 9 a lot. I think that episode 8 really went under just like the radar. So I'm trying to say, do the producers even know what they're talking about? If they don't, then could we assume that something amazing will happen to wrap up the season? I hope so. Give me the Blue Lock Season 2 finale, please.
Official synopsis of the episode itself. So here it is, the official synopsis of episode 10. Zombie Man faces off against a vampire, a blood-sucking man with supernatural powers inherited from generations past. A bloody, mud-sucking battle between Zombie Man, who is immortal no matter how fatal the injury, and the vampire who can heal any injury by sucking blood begins. So looking at
Who's gonna win? An immortal zombie or a vampire that can keep regenerating as long as there's blood? I would assume the immortal zombie. Because he's not really... There's nothing that's gonna prevent him from getting back up. But the vampire, you run out of blood, that's over.
the actual synopsis itself, I'm pretty positive that they will be adapting chapter 100, which is the Zombie Man chapter against Pure Blood, which is the vampire. And also considering the fact that there's these preview images that they have revealed, pretty much going to be
Not looking very good. The character faces, the overall proportions, like what is going on with Bushido's face, Okama's face. Yeah, it kind of looks alright with the stance up. Something about the positioning in the hallway too. It just looks very wonky here.
covering chapter 101 as well, but I'm not sure how far they'll be adapting
Oh,
it.
the
Again,
Dami
I'm
girl.
not sure how fast the fight sequences will
Maybe she can save the episode. I don't know if Zombie Man's gonna get, the quality he deserves, but we got the fan service girl. And maybe she can be enough of a distraction like Mizuki was. Even though that, that episode where Mizuki was, quote unquote popping off, she wasn't. There was a lot of chopped ass shit. People were really upset about that episode too. Anyways, I hope the fan service delivers.
adapting it. Again, I'm not sure how fast the fight sequences will be in this episode. Maybe they'll be covering both chapters in the episode as well. That is pretty much possible in this case. Again, it's pretty fun to look at both immortal being fighting against each other. I mean, like, I'm not sure if Pure Blood, the vampire, is actually immortal, considering the fact that he can heal by sucking blood. Again, I didn't really read the entirety
Well, Zombie Man don't need blood. This guy needs blood. Zombie Man better.
of the chapter. I just skimmed through it to actually find the manga panels for the sake of comparing the manga panels to the preview images. But yes, I would love to watch the episode itself and actually understand the context of it in the anime form, because, well, I prefer it that way, I guess.
Okay.
But yes, everyone, my guess in this episode will probably going to be the entirety of the Zombie Man chapter will get adapted, and probably up
Yeah.
until Amaimas appears, that will
I hope they're able to nail the overall feelings of Zombie Man. Because like even here, look at the manga, right? Black shading, dark corridor, lonesome man pulling up with the gun, bang, bang, his face, so serious, the background so dark, and it's all gory and grungy, and the way that they handle Zombie Man in the manga was, it's gory. And I would hope that the anime could deliver on that vision, but I feel like it's just gonna be a bunch of censorship and not be able to deliver on it. Like, Zombie Man doesn't really fight that many crazy monsters. Like Vampire Lord, sure, but like leading on the way, it's a bunch of mobs. But he gets like some cool scenes where he's fucking up the monsters one by one with this gun, the hatchet, the axe, and he gets his hands on it. He gets in there dirty. Will they be able to deliver on that? I hope they would, but I feel like Zombie Man is a character that probably doesn't require that much priority. I prefer Zombie Man over Child Emperor, but you know how Japan is with their Gundam mech stuff, so I think that Zombie Man's gonna get done dirty.
up until Amaimas appears. That will probably going to be the end of the episode, I guess. I'm not entirely sure about this. Please do let me know what you guys think about it. But yes, everyone, with that being said, let's actually take a look at episode 10 preview images itself.
Let's get it.
Alright, so for the first preview image, we got this shot of Zombie Man firing his gun. Again, the
Okay.
overall environment looks pretty dark, pretty eerie, and I would say this is definitely a look that I'm looking forward to, considering the fact that it is a fight between two immortal beings, and also the fact that it is Zombie Man versus a literal vampire. This looks pretty cool. Next,
Yeah, there's a lot of dark themes, right? The corridor, it's dark. Yeah, it's the manga panel that we just saw, right? So this one looks all right. I just hope that it's gonna be more than just a PowerPoint presentation.
here, this looks pretty cool. Next up, we got the vampire himself, Pure
Aragi.
Blood. I personally don't really like how there's no background behind him, but let's talk about it.
I like the bold lines around his hair, but yeah, the background, the dark red, the brownish maroon, I don't know.
in detail in a bit. Next up, we got a shot of Zombie Man holding an axe. Again, I really like his facial expression here. The compositing looks really nice, the shading looks good as well. But his axe, well, let's talk about it when we compare it to the manga. Next up, we got the disciple of Atomic Samurai. Again, in this particular shot, there's actually a huge negative space here because it looks a bit awkward when you have that much of a negative space on the bottom right side of this image.
What's going on in the corridor, you know? Like, it's not like symmetrical at all. This side is all kind of leaned in. This side is way more empty. A lot of open background here. And the overall character models just look janky
itself. So what I'm hoping is basically it to be a moving shot. Next up, we got a shot.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. Moment. Okay, we got a shot of Super Ass or Do Ass, whatever her name is. Again,
Super Ass.
Pretty good. And as for our sixth and final frame, we got a shot of Amaimas, and I'm pretty sure this also takes place at the same spot as the fight earlier. It's just that the light has been turned off or something, but yeah. Alright, now with that being said, let's take a look at each frame one by
no RGB filter just yet, true.
one. Let's actually analyze it detail by detail and also compare it to the manga. Alright, so as for this first shot of Zombie Man compared to the manga, well, there's only one difference, which is the bullets or like the explosion is not really on the screen. Maybe it will happen in the anime, I'm not entirely sure.
I really love how they capture just like the pure darkness behind Zombie Man, as well as how the trench coat, the way that it's shaded, drawn, you know, it just gives him such a more darker, gory, you know, edgier feeling. Here, it's hard to capture that, right? It is. I like what they did with the corridor in the background, but the trench coat, I don't know. The blue, dark blue walls, it could definitely be worse. I'll take it.
Sure, but overall, I don't really think it's a really bad adaptation of the manga panel itself. The 3D CG background, yes, the background overall made it look better in the anime. So again, I like this frame in particular. Maybe it will be my thumbnail, I'm not sure. Next up, we got a shot of Pure Blood. Again, compared to the manga, well, obviously in the manga, there isn't really any background. So I guess the anime is pretty much doing the same thing, I guess. I'm not sure, but they could have done like some kind of a background behind. Again, not
got a more, I don't know, cocky faced here with the grin like this compared to the open smile.
Not really a major thing, but it's just a personal issue, I guess. But something that I find pretty interesting is the fact that in the...
Wait a minute, the clothing, right? Look at this. Over here, it's kind of like a lion's mane of these frilly things, right? Over here, he only has like, you know, just like the one bib down below.
The anime Pure Blood outfit is pretty much being tweaked a bit. Maybe
it is
for the convenience of the animation team to animate him moving.
Honestly, not a big deal. Doesn't really matter to me one way or the other. Don't really care about this guy that much. I honestly think the anime design is maybe even better.
Hopefully he is going to be moving. But yeah, in that case, this
Count Dracula looking ass.
Pretty okay. The only few changes pretty much the outfit, the overall style of Pure Blood. So yeah. Next up, we got this frame of Zombie Man with
he looks disturbed.
Something that really caught my eye is pretty much his reaction, his facial expression, and how this overall shot is being composited. People are actually complaining about the axe not having that much of a blood, which I agree.
Censorship.
Since in this particular frame, compared to the manga, you can definitely see that. Well, in the manga.
Yeah, he's getting in there. He's fucking shit up again. He's getting his hands dirty. Look at his face. He's all covered in his own blood, his enemy's blood too. So where's the blood on the weapon? It's missing because this is a rushed episode. Probably. I mean, every episode is a rushed episode, but you know, attention to detail, if they're forgetting stuff like that, not a good sign.
It has much more gory, much more blood there. I'm not sure if this is due to censorship or they just missed out that part of the detail. Again, I'm not entirely sure about it, but something that is really cool in my opinion is...
I don't know why they would censor the axe and not the face though, right? Because you can clearly see the blood on his face. But if you see blood on the weapon, it's like a sudden no-no. I don't think it's censorship here, right?
Definitely how they've drawn Zombie Man's face here. His facial expression is literally on point, and I will argue it looks much better in the anime due to the shading and all that. Really well composited shot for Zombie Man overall. But as for the axe, well, let's see how it will turn out.
I honestly kind of like how the background is just pitch black in the anime one, and the mouth is closed. And the eyes still convey that really serious, like, don't fuck with me energy. In the manga, the bright background kind of highlights more of the carnage that happened. He's dirty, he's bloody, he's gory, but the way that the anime did it, I kind of feel the menacing aura.
In the anime, maybe it is a censorship, I'm not entirely sure. Next up, let's just take all these 3 preview images and talk about it at once from chapter 101. And well, obviously, most of it is pretty much one-to-one to the manga. That makes me think, well, director Shinpei Naga is probably back storyboarding this episode and probably till the finale. Again, nothing much to talk about. As I've said earlier, I have a hunch that this episode will pretty much going to be outsourced. So it's probably going to be...
Yeah, shout outs to Wuxi. I forget the Chinese dude that always shows up in the outsourced stuff. Yeah, I don't know. The metallic luster in the manga for EIEI looks so good here, right? But I don't know. This one, it's something about being off-centered, using this right area, just so much more empty space. It looks pretty chopped, but again, hopefully the fan service just carries this scene.
Next up, let's just take all these 3 preview images and talk about it at once from chapter 101. And well, obviously, most of it is pretty much one-to-one to the manga. That makes me think, well, director Shinpei Naga is probably back storyboarding this episode and probably till the finale. Again, nothing much to talk about. As I've said earlier, I have a hunch that this episode will pretty much going to be outsourced. So it's probably going to be the case of episode 8. Hopefully, the first half will probably...
How is the titty? How is that titty? One-to-one? One-to-one titty? Nipple sensor. Nipple sensor. Listen, you can't see the nipple here, but it's protruding. It doesn't really protrude here. It's also not shiny. Nice. I see the armpit lines. Okay, it's okay.
So it's probably going to be the case of episode 8. Hopefully, the first half will probably have some few good cuts, and then the second half will going to be a bit awkward. But yes, everyone, those are basically it. I'm sorry for not uploading for this few days. It's holiday seasons. I've been going for caroling here and there. So yeah,
caroling, bro, singing.
Happy holidays for everyone. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Happy holidays indeed. Jesus Christ, already December 11th. Christmas is nearby, which means winter 2026 is nearby. We are almost out of anime recession, guys. This season of anime has been hell in terms of peak animes to pop off, right? There's been a bunch of good ones, but it's been kind of dead. Anyways, One Punch Man Season 3 Episode 10, don't get your hopes up. I feel like we're going back to the actual 5 out of 10, episodes. Hopefully the Zombie Man stuff will be enticing. Hopefully the fan service will keep it engaging, but I don't really have much expectations from this one. What I do have is, though, expectations for episode maybe 11, but definitely 12. Because it just feels like they would want to end on a high note, right? If I'm thinking about the planning, like, yeah, having episode 5, like episode 3, 5, 8, 9 probably are the standout episodes, right? Compared to the rest, which is not much to say. But to have a finale also just kind of end on like a 7 out of 10 note, I think would do so much for this show compared to ending on a completely trash episode. But I think the reputation is beyond saving, so it doesn't really matter, is it? Please check out Easy Court's video. Link to the video right here. Go give it a like. Check out his content for other stuff like this. See you next time.